This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, Pixies return to the Otago Settlers Museum for another year of well-mannered Christmas frivolity. Bayfield Kindergarten's pupils are loving their beehive, with one youngster celebrating a birthday amongst the bees. And a 14-kilometre refugee walk is how Christchurch East churches are wanting to show solidarity. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Daryl Baser. The signs of Christmas are rapidly springing up all over the place. From dazzling displays of Christmas lights to the city's decorations, and now the return of Pixie Town to the Otago Settlers Museum. If you go down to Toitu today, you may be in for a surprise from a group of seasonal characters who are back for another year.
Now they're getting to being 70 or 80 years old, and most pixies would be retiring by then, but these ones keep going to keep the next generation suitably amused with all their little antics.
Pixie Town was created by Nelson Manfred Jones in the 1930s, and he toured them around New Zealand before selling them to the DIC department store in the 1950s, where they were a Christmas attraction for almost 40 years. They're now a regular feature at Toitu Settlers Museum.
Fred Jones used to tour around with the truck and had the units in the back of them. Majority of these ones have come from the basement of DIC.
When DIC closed in the late 1980s, some of the pixies became part of the Settlers collection, where they continue to be displayed in the build-up to Christmas each year. Chief Pixie mechanic Stephen Kilroy says turning your back on them can be risky.
We work it all out, and then we come up with a plan, and then the first day is getting ready for the pixies, and then the pixies move house from their storage and come in, and we do that generally in the morning.
Kilroy says the annual display is set to be open to the public until 4 p.m. on December the 24th, Christmas Eve. In Dunedin, The South Today. Preliminary restoration and maintenance of the historic Dunedin railway station has begun. Contractors spent much of the morning guiding framework into place on top of the Cobb & Co section of Dunedin's railway station. A crane lifts sections from the ground, while crews on the ground and on the scaffolding guides the structures into place. The Dunedin City Council says it's the first of 3 stages of the restoration project of the 114-year-old building. The first stage of repairs is expected to be completed mid-2021 at a cost of around $1 million for the first stage. A Dunedin kindergarten is embracing the world of apiculture, with one 4-year-old asking to spend her birthday firmly in the territory of the much adored insects.
Frankie Wells is a 4-year-old braver than most. As a birthday treat, Frankie was allowed to don a beekeeping suit to get up and close with her kindergarten's beehive and its residents. Bayfield kindergarten teacher Ray Shabbat says having children of a young age interact with bees in their hives is a great way to broaden a child's understanding of bugs and insects.
They love it, and I have to say it's probably one of the most exciting, rewarding learning experiences that I have done with children. It's so important, because you're bringing in science, you're bringing in environmentalism, you're bringing in contribution to your community. It's just fantastic work that the children are doing, and I'm so proud of them.
The beehive was introduced to the kindergarten earlier in the year with only 2 child-sized suits. However, the school has recently raised enough money to buy 8 more suits, allowing more children to get involved.
We were lucky enough to have a bottle auction where we wrapped up bottles and people came in and bid on them during a family fun night, and we actually managed to raise $1,800. So it was great support from the community, and I think more and more people are conscious of bees and beekeeping, and so it's actually something that children can relate to.
The beehive is now producing honey, but the kindergarten isn't quite sure what to do with the delicious reward. In Dunedin, The South Today.
The number of people using buses in Queenstown has reduced significantly due to COVID-19. Fewer Queenstown residents are using buses, with the number of patrons down by 44% compared with November last year. Otago Regional Council Transport Manager Gary Maloney says a decrease in visitors and seasonal workers has caused the decline. While the pandemic has affected Queenstown bus use negatively, Maloney says Dunedin has remained similar when compared with last year's figures. Churches in East Christchurch joined forces recently in a show of solidarity with refugees in the city. The second annual 14-kilometre refugee walk from New Brighton to Redcliffs brought together walkers from 5 churches, raising funds for a seasonal appeal. 'Tis the season of giving.
We're walking for refugees. We're raising funds for programs that Christian World Service support. We just think this is a great way of starting the Advent season.
It's the second year parishioners from a collection of churches have gathered and raised funds for refugees via Christchurch-based organisation Christian World Service.
Refugees actually feature in the Christmas story, so this is a good thing to be doing, supporting others in real need.
The 14-kilometre trek takes the faithful, friends and whānau around a host of churches in New Brighton, Aronui and Linwood, as well as through scenic parts of the Garden City, all with a simple hope for humanity.
Today we started with a time of worship in New Brighton in the Chapel of the Waves, and we lit the first Advent candle, which is the candle of hope, or prophetic hope. And so we're walking in hope today that the world can be a better place for refugees.
They say COVID-19 has definitely brought the message home clearly, as all people are affected by these issues and we all need to support one another. Linwood Avenue Union Church Minister Jonathan Barb says getting out and about is good for getting people to connect with themselves and others.
I think it's important to do something physical that matches our, that gives us a chance to allow our minds and our hearts to line up and think about a little bit about what's going on. And though our scenario is completely different and we're still in a place of peace and privilege and all that sort of stuff, it gives us an opportunity to at least contemplate while walking what we're doing and how what we can do might help some people.
Christian World Service is a Christchurch-based foreign aid organisation which partners with Christian organisations around the world to support those in need. In Christchurch, the South Today. And still to come on the South Today, a Year 10 Tairi College pupil has amassed many followers for his truck-loving Facebook page, and Tuahiwi School has finally hosted its Kapahaka celebrations after months of delays. See you after the break.
Here I am in the middle of George Street, corner of Hanover and George. Come and see what I get in here. This is where I go shopping. So look what I can choose from in here. It's fantastic. Knitwear, flash shirts. Look at those flash shirts. Trousers, jeans, pullovers. Oh look, they've got some hoodies. I love hoodies.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
But my friend Lindsay, he says this store's only here till January the 10th, so I better dash. See you later.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
For over 100 years, Presbyterian Support has been helping people in your region through all conditions, ages and stages of life. Our Enliven and Family Work services are always there when you need them. People in your community are facing unprecedented challenges and they need your help. By making a donation to your local Presbyterian Support in South Canterbury, Otago or Southland, you'll be helping us to help people where you live. Together we can make a difference. We are people helping people.
No mai anō, welcome back. Being too young to drive a truck doesn't stop enthusiastic youngster Robert Hoover. The Year 10 Tairi College pupil has dreams of following in his father's footsteps, hopping into the cab of an 18-wheeler. In the meantime, Hoover has been racking up views on his Facebook page, Robert's Truck Photography. The page has attracted more than 2,000 followers in a few months, creating a community of truck-loving enthusiasts wanting to share their photos. The growing Queenstown Muslim community is set to finally have its own mosque. Queenstown Islamic Centre is set to take ownership of a building on Gorge Road next Tuesday. The Queenstown Muslim community has grown to more than 50 families who have been praying on the shores of Lake Wakatipu. Their current closest place of worship is about 200 kilometres away in Invercargill or Dunedin. A $43,000 deposit has been paid on the building, with the remaining $387,000 due in the coming year. The community has asked for donations to help cover the cost, as the Islamic faith forbids followers from entering into loans which attract interest payments. After a year filled with delays, Tuahiwi School has finally held its annual Kapa Haka celebrations. The school's event is the biggest in North Canterbury and has attracted 36 schools, 5 more than previous years.
A Kapa Haka celebration like no other. This week, Tuahiwi School overcame COVID-19 induced delays to pull off a mammoth 2-day celebration of Māori culture. Around 36 school groups performed at the Ohoka Community Hall in front of 1,500 whānau and friends. Tuahiwi School Principal Melanie Tai Tepitama says the event was supposed to be held earlier in the year, but COVID delayed it.
COVID has caused some disruption in our school programs, so rather than not have it all at all, the show at all, we decided to have it in term 4. And whilst that might be a heavy workload for kaimahi or kaiako in schools, actually it's turned out to be a good choice.
The event will be held in Stadium Waimakariri when it opens next year and will be able to accommodate a larger capacity suiting the school's ever-growing needs.
This is the biggest event that North Canterbury has. There's no marathon, there's no sports event, you know, there's no event, even like a boxing night or that bring this many people. I mean, our night show tonight it was sold out within the first couple of weeks, and we've got some really disappointed people that they can't be here. So we'll be really happy in North Canterbury when the new stadium's up and running.
The event has been growing each year and doesn't appear to be stopping anytime soon. In Te Iwi, the South Today.
And after the break on the South Today, Dunedin is set to be home to a cacophony of bird noises when it hosts a national competition next year. And we have a look at the weekend's weather for you. See you after the break.
Your PVC windows and doors. PVC is 90% more efficient than standard aluminium and 60% more efficient than thermally broken aluminium. It's multi-chambered, you don't get any condensation through the frame. And if you put decent glass in, you get a big difference to aluminium.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Here I am in the middle of George Street, corner of Hanover and George. Come and see what I get in here. This is where I go shopping. So look what I can choose from in here. It's fantastic. Knitwear, flash shirts. Look at those flash shirts. Trousers, jeans, pullovers. Oh look, they've got some hoodies. I love hoodies.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
But my friend Lindsay, he says this store's only here till January the 10th, so I better dash. See you later.
Ah, TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر.
Thanks for staying with us. The Dunedin Poultry, Pigeon and Cage Bird Club is getting ready to host a national competition. The club is set to welcome more than 1,800 birds to its Forester Park facility next year for 3 days of poultry-packed events.
Next year, North Dunedin will be filled with a cacophony of screeching and squawking, and it won't necessarily be the students. For the first time ever, Dunedin will host the New Zealand Poultry, Pigeon and Cage Bird National Show across 3 days in May. Poultry breeder Stephanie Kilmakov has been in the trade for more than 30 years and is looking forward to the variety of birds which will flock to Dunedin.
We didn't get to have a show in Dunedin this past May, but next May we are having the
national show, so we expect to have birds from all over New Zealand and judges from afar as well. It's been a popular show in the past years. We get people coming in from all over just to have a look at all the big variety of birds.
Kilmakov says it takes a lot of work to raise a show-worthy bird.
You need to breed at least, to hatch 10 eggs, you might get one that's a show bird. Yeah, if you're lucky.
An auction will be held to close off the event, with attendees able to purchase any birds they fell in love with. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Christmas time is truly upon us as the Otago Settlers Museum ended the festive season with the Pixies. One Bayfield kindergarten pupil celebrated her 4th birthday with the buzzing of bees as she embraces the last few months of kindergarten and hard work. And East Christchurch churches showed their solidarity by undertaking a 14-kilometre refugee walk, raising funds for Christian Lord's Service. Time now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's big Saturday Otago Day Times. We welcome Mr. Hayden Meikle. G'day.
Good evening, Daryl. How are you, sir?
Good.
Very good. Well, lots happening. It's lots of good reads in tomorrow's ODT, which is good. But starting with page 1, we've got the latest on the investigation into the Barry Clue case, of course, the financial advisor jailed this year for fleecing investors of some $15 million. And the bad news is, so far, very, very little money to be found. So all of those investors who are keenly watching on to see where the case goes have to wait a little bit longer, I think. So that'll be our lead story tomorrow. And our big feature tomorrow is on South Dunedin. And what a great place it is. I lived out there myself, Daryl, for some time. Great spot. It's called the Rising Challenge, which I guess is appropriate in a week in which we declared a climate emergency, and we had the big story on the reports into insurance premiums set to spike for coastal properties. So it's a look at 5 years on from the sort of mega floods of South Dunedin. Where are we at? What sort of plan, if any, do we have for the future for the area? And we're talking to everybody really who's kind of got something at stake. So I think that'll be well read. It's not just South Dunedin people, of course, who are interested in this. A huge proportion of New Zealanders live near the coast. We've all got a vested interest in protecting coastal New Zealand, so that should be interesting. Also a nice yarn on Ian Taylor from Animation Research, just won a major award from the Deloitte 200 Awards. And yet another nice yarn on Graham Still, the face of firefighting in Dunedin, and what a year he's had. There's been fires left, right and centre, including some really big ones. So. And in sport, lots of cricket, of course, it's cricket season, and an interesting yarn for fans of Otago cricket back in the day, Neil Mallender. Now there's a blast from the past, a great English cricketer who played for Otago for a long time. Adrian Ciccone has caught up with Neil and talked about life after cricket in Otago and where he is now and what he's doing. So all that, plus I guess coverage of the Black Caps, Kane Williamson cracking onto a double ton today and looking ahead to the Otago Volts next game too. So heaps of stuff, something for everybody tomorrow, Daryl.
Most definitely. Thanks for that, Hayden. Good one. Time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, some heavy metal sky ballet as a frame is positioned over the railway station roof. Looking at the situation, a stormy day about the region tomorrow with thunderstorms and hail as blustery southwest winds become cooler. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, cloudy skies with rain and potentially thunderstorms in Westport with 15 degrees. Greymouth is due to be 16. Heading across to the northeast, a wet day for you in Nelson, and you can expect cloudy skies producing rain. With 19 degrees for you, Blenheim will be showery and 21 degrees. In Canterbury, expect cloudy skies with 20 degrees. In Kaikoura, a few clouds with showers and 21 in Christchurch, as well as Ashburton. To the southern towns, strong southwesterlies and showers for all down here. The Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore should all reach 14 degrees. To the Central Lakes, Plan for moderate southwesterlies and showers in this area, 14 degrees in Wanaka, Queenstown and Te Anau, with 15 in Alexandra. To the northern towns, fresh southwesterlies and thunderstorms for Timaru and Oamaru, 17 in Timaru and 15 in Oamaru. Moderate southwesterlies and showers further inland with 15 degrees in Twizel and Omarama. In Dunedin, cloudy tonight with westerly winds and an overnight low of 10. Fine at first tomorrow with northerlies, but fresh cold southwesterlies develop from the middle of the day with showers, which some may be heavy with hail and thunder. A high of 15 and a low of 8. Mostly cloudy and dry on Sunday with southwesterlies dying out and northeasterlies developing. A high of 14 and a low of 9. And in Invercargill, showers and fresh westerly winds tonight with an overnight low of 8. Cloudy tomorrow with frequent showers. It'll be cold with strong gusty southwesterlies, but the overall outlook should improve by Saturday night with a predicted high of 12 and a low of 7. Milder northwesterlies freshening on Sunday with cloud and winds increasing with some rain at times at night. Your high should be 15 with a low of 10. And that's all from the South Today team for this Friday, and indeed for the week. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. If you're in Dunedin this Sunday, pop along to the city's Santa Parade and concert. Have a great weekend. See you on Monday. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.